STEAM stands for science,
technology, engineering, arts,
and math.
Together, these subjects form an intentional learning approach that teaches students more than just subject matter.
We're talking about bigger concepts that impact their everyday life when they go home, when they're in other subjects at school. So it's making those connections between subjects.
The STEAM collaboration really shows what it's like to operate and to solve problems in a global society.
It's so important to include the A in STEAM. The arts are invaluable, and I love that Englewood is including arts into their STEAM package.
I think that involving arts in that umbrella of education is significant because it develops a whole learner.
Music and art are actually awesome. I think it's important because there's different skills that you gotta have in life.
STEAM education is really important at such a young age because we're giving students an opportunity to experience something that they normally wouldn't experience in their classrooms. It's also to spark that curiosity, plant that seed.
We've built a seesaw. Me and my friend was also trying to build a catapult, and I love to build with Legos. It's fun.
I can hold it for you. Tell me what to do. Our STEAM lab, we have our 12 computers where kids could get on there and do the designs, come up with an idea of what they're working on. And the makerspace is a spot for kids to get into and spread out and have more space, essentially, to work on electronics, like creating an electrical circuit, or working with gears and creating machines that actually move and why they move and be able to describe how that works.
I like learning new things and having challenges and just making my brain grow.
By the time students enter middle school and high school, they should be able to ask some essential questions about their learning to drive them deeper into what they're learning.
I've been at this pathway since 7th grade. Half of my schooling career has been spent in this stuff, and it's really prepared me for what comes next. I'm going to be able to look at problems and solve them in a practical way.
STEAM and the arts and all of the different pathways that STEAM offers is invaluable to our students because students need to find their focus. They need to find what makes them come alive. Some students might really excel at math, and that's fantastic. What about your student who wants to be a graphic designer? Your student who comes alive at the thought of creating a character on stage?
I was really scared. I was really shaky and scared to present because I was super shy. Now I'm really outgoing and I'm not speaking really lightly. I'm actually projecting.
But I need it done now!
STEAM, I believe, is important because it's your real-world application of school.
Computer science is teaching me how to be more independent and just be able to just express myself through computer technology science.
So we're not just looking at content skills, we're also looking at real-world collaboration. So how do you work together? How do you work in a team? It is ribose, okay? The biomedical science pathway is designed to introduce kids to the field of healthcare. I think students that are curious about healthcare, I think students that just like science, this is a great kind of background to introduce them to different types of science. It's a very hands-on class.
So any one of these circles that is red is oxygen.
By being in the computer science pathway, our students will be better prepared to come out of high school by being able to work across different content areas. Specifically in Colorado, there are currently about 15,000 jobs in the computer science industry, and Colorado only graduates about 800 students in the computer science field.
Well, we're the T, we're technology, everything media. So the newspaper, the yearbook, the TV station.
Hello, and welcome to the weekly announcements brought to you by the team of Pirate TV.
The website and all of social media. They're learning communication, they're writing clear, concise, ethical. They're learning how to design a website. Design isn't really taught a whole lot until you get to college, but they get that opportunity here in high school, which is phenomenal.
So at Colorado's Finest, we have a complete recording studio. I can't think of too many schools that have this. Like, there probably aren't any. The kids coming in here, they discover things about themselves. They get to make whatever they can do. A lot of them, I think it's going to be really easy, and then they realize, oh my God, this is art. But it's a challenge worth doing.
Check 2. Both of them on there. It turns.
Principles of engineering is a lot of the electronics-based stuff. You learn how to build circuits, and you learn kind of start digging into what actual engineering is. Building it is the coolest thing ever. I mean, that's why you do it.
It's, by definition, it's hands-on, you know? You are the one assembling these machines. You are the one operating them. You get to see what you made, and you get to see it work, and no real other classes really offer that.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's really inventive.
So in art, we do address a lot of problems, and we have to find creative solutions for them on a regular basis. As an artist, you have a place in every field. You really do.
The arts have given me just general appreciation for the world.
I've definitely learned a lot about being a leader. I've learned a lot about organization. I've also learned a lot about learning who I am as a person and like what I need to do to follow my passions.
Then we'll start learning how to actually plant a tree. They start off by exploring all the myriad careers that are available to them in agriculture, and then they actually get to pursue some kind of activity and project around whatever that career may be. The great thing about the SAGE program is it allows for real-life application. There's lots of transferable skills that are science-related that go out into industry as well.
Mine's more just about going back and what Da Vinci was doing.
Engineering firm, they're looking for somebody who knows the process, like the design process, and people that aren't afraid to fail. I think that's important. I'm hoping that's what our kids get from this.
You can gain a lot of confidence that way, and I never would have gotten that without this course and without this pathway.
I am a lifelong learner, and so I want students to be lifelong learners too.
I like to see that excitement when kids learn what it's like to be a doctor or a nurse.
You get to be out there and figure out new things.
In 5, 4, 3, mics up. The newspaper, the yearbook, the TV station, the website, and all of social media. They're learning those skills that they don't have until they come into a media class.
Englewood High School has a full media production studio. We're lucky to have a green screen here. We have the teleprompter, the CGIs. We have all the equipment available to us, and that's a great resource to have. I've gotten to do every single role that goes into filming a broadcast of any kind.
For all sophomore students participating in Mentor 2.0,
I think the most valuable skill that they learn in this pathway is deadlines. There's a final project and it's got a final due date. That is a skill that they'll take into any field that they are in. They're learning communication. They have to go out and interview people that they don't even know.
And you learn everything. Really help with a lot of skills such as communicate to other people what you are thinking. It also helps with just kind of learning how a lot of technology works.
They're learning how to design a website. They're writing clear, concise, ethical, moral, doing a really good job making sure that they're talking to somebody, understanding what they're saying, and then turning that around into a story that somebody else can relate to. It's out there for the masses to see, and they're responsible for it. So I think that, just that component enough, gives them a leg up in whatever field they choose. I hope they choose journalism. I hope they choose something that's media related or design related. But if they don't, look at those wonderful skills that they have.
So at Colorado's Finest, we have a complete recording studio. I can't think of too many schools that have this. Like, there probably aren't any.
I've always been very interested in audio. I've been playing piano since I was 5, banging on drums since I was 5.
The way people make music these days is computer.
A lot of what I've learned here is very industry standard skills with the DAP program, which is digital audio. So a lot of what we do is inside the actual software and creating virtual instruments, virtual drums, making rhythmical patterns to create songs.
We've got full digital audio workstations. Pro Tools is the #1 digital audio workstation for every recording studio in the country. All the big albums end up in Pro Tools. And essentially it's a new musical instrument.
For me, audio is something that's really emotional. I feel like music is an amazing way to get your emotions out there. I think it's been life-changing for me personally, and this school has truly changed my whole perspective on school, and it's amazing.
Our 4 macromolecules are what?
The biomedical science pathway here at Englewood High School. It's a pathway designed to introduce kids to the field of healthcare.
It's really preparing me for what I want to do after high school.
With the biomedical pathway, we did a lab measuring how many calories are in a single piece of food with fire. That was more interactive than I've ever had in any other class, so.
And then you can follow that all the way around.
It gives them some idea of what it would be like to go into the field and what options they have in the field. Forensic anthropologist, genetic counseling, EMT, 911 operator. So we look at different types of doctors and nurses.
Biomedical pathway has kind of put me into more of a medical sense of thinking in a career path. I've been looking up how much biomedical engineers actually make for prosthetic limbs for people like veterans.
So we're looking at science lab skills that typically some of them that you wouldn't see or be able to do until you're in college. It's a very hands-on class. It's very different than a lot of the other classes.
I like how the course is structured because I'm getting more of a hands-on experience.
These are jobs that will not go away. People are always going to be sick. People are always going to need health care. So it's going to be an in-demand field.
Involving arts in that umbrella of education is significant because it develops a whole learner.
Whether it's playing an instrument or learning to dance or sing or act, the arts are invaluable, and I love that Englewood is including arts into their STEAM package.
Awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper.
What these students really learn, my focus for middle school is twofold. For the students to be very comfortable standing up in front of their peers and then to speak loud enough to be heard. Not only is that a wonderful theatrical skill, that's just a great life skill.
We're learning how to write our own scripts, how to memorize, projecting, and actually being confident. It's just a fun time.
Hello, my name's Hagen Hoover and I'm playing Jimmy McBarbie.
Last year we did Fiddler on the Roof, and you had to speak, you had to be very articulate. I feel like it's just rubbing off on me, just the knowledge of being really well spoken and have good vocabulary.
Thank you.
And then in the high school program, we take that even farther and we work on character development. We work on being quick thinkers and quick decision makers. We teach a lot of improv.
This is my Da Vinci art piece. It's Little Boy Da Vinci and some of his inventions.
Art is about observing and slowing down and practicing.
The arts is really teaching me how to understand perspective and depth and just having a sharp creative eye. Your creativity is constantly flowing.
Everybody can be an artist. I hope my students come away knowing that they too can be artists.
We hear one person come in early. What do I mean by that? What does it do?
Band has become something we're really well known for here. There's a lot of research out there that shows the connection between successful band students and successful academic students, but also just how it translates into everyday skills in life.
I've definitely learned a lot about being a leader. First, it's really nerve-wracking, but once you're in the moment with everyone, so just knowing that you've done all the preparation and that you're there together is kind of cool.
Our whole district has been very supportive of arts programs.
and really developing those arts programs, and as a result, we've been quite successful.
Being involved in the arts teaches students so many of our soft skills that so many employers are looking for. If an employer sees that you've been involved in the arts, that conveys to them that you are a well-rounded person, that you will work really hard at something that you're very passionate about.
So I think our SAGE program is just so unique here in the Denver metro area and just offers opportunities that aren't available anywhere else for our kids.
It's one of the best learning experiences I've ever had.
The first day I joined the class, we were talking about what chickens we were going to get, what we were going to build, what was all going on.
They start off by exploring all the myriad careers that are available to them in agriculture.
It was something that would really benefit me for the future.
And then they actually get to pursue some kind of activity and project around whatever that career may be.
Learning how to use teamwork and team building and anything just to get something done that could actually really help the community and bring the community together.
Basically, it's all project-based, hands-on.
And with the geometry that we have set here, it ends up being a 29-degree angle.
Whatever skills they acquire, they can put on a resume, and those are things that whether they choose an agricultural career or they want to go into construction or they want to go into some kind of animal science, those are skills that they'll be able to have on a resume and say, hey, this is what I've done.
Here in Englewood, we really put a lot of energy and time and focus into developing and expanding our CTE and STEM programming. We're also really excited that we're going to be tying in core curriculum and required curriculum into this program.
So what happens is you have to do a little geometry.
We do have a heavy emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and math. With the chickens, we had to come up with how are you going to heat the chickens to 95 degrees, because as chicks they have to maintain a body temperature at that point, so the kids have to go and look at what kinds of ways they would actually be able to do that.
I never thought I would be raising chickens at school.
Post in the middle here because we need a 4-foot door.
We're learning a lot about the benefits for the ecosystem and the benefits for the garden itself.
Our SAGE program has garnered a lot of interest from other school districts. We're very, very excited at the possibility of partnering with those school districts and being able to open our program to their students who are interested in urban agriculture and sustainable agriculture and green energy. We're also really excited about the partnerships that it's opened up for us in terms of corporate partnerships, community partnerships.
The community has really started to buy in, and our chicken coop, for example, would not be possible without the fact that we had windows donated, we had doors donated, we had money donated.
What we know about education and the future of education is that it demands that we provide opportunities for kids to have hands-on learning opportunities that are relevant, applicable, that build skills that are lifelong, and that will carry them not only through classroom learning, but into their careers, into their home lives, their communities. We want to make sure that kids are learning how to think, apply, work together, collaborate. That's the future of education. That is the future that we are looking toward in Englewood schools.
In my engineering manufacturing classes, you actually get to hold the fruit of your labor. By definition, it's hands-on.
Looks like it is doing.
Do you want to move it closer?
Design thinking is applicable to most things.
There's a lot of real-world applications. It's good to have general knowledge about fixing things and how to build things well. It's really just fun to build stuff, to work with my hands, learn how to operate tools.
Just making a little image on a computer, it's kind of cool, but like if you put something on the CNC mill and it has a 4th axis and it turns it around and it's spinning there and you got to watch it and you got to watch the code go. I'm going to show you a Z real quick. It's awesome. It's totally captivating. You just sit there and watch this machine just go.
Really, they give you the tools, the mental tools, that you need to work on these projects and to understand how these works and how to prototype and how to test and how to correct errors in design and how to look forward.
Engineering firm, they're looking for somebody who knows the process, like the design process, and people that aren't afraid to fail, more than they're looking at people who know everything. I think that's important. I'm hoping that's what our kids get from this.
And I want to go into environmental engineering. And I want to be able to go, get a career and work in public infrastructure and basically say, we can build a dam there, here's why we can't, here's why, this is how this is going to affect people living here, this is how it's going to affect the environment here 20 years down the road. That's really what I want to be doing. Through my engineering courses, I found how much I enjoyed that stuff and how satisfying it is to build something. And I never would have gotten that without this course and without this pathway.
No, in your directions. So go back here and then do Control F.
By being in the computer science pathway, our students will be better prepared to come out of high school by being able to work across different content areas. The problem solving that they're learning are applicable to all content areas. They're going to be able to apply that in the sciences, in math, and in the arts.
Computer science is teaching me how to be more independent and to be able to guide me and just be able to just express myself through computer technology science.
So we'll take a concept around developing an app for a food truck that they can connect back to ordering food, and then taking it to our graphics department and having a real client taking them and developing a logo.
Even if I didn't like this, and even if I decided it wasn't for me, these skills are still very valuable. Thinking tools are very important for your everyday life.
I think what I'm most excited for them after high school is their ability to take the skills that they learned in our class and apply in so many different areas in careers of their choosing.